Civilizations That Are Over, episode 43. So let's get straight into this. As first, we're going to look at the beautiful nation of Poland as their stability will end up collapsing to the bottom of low, as they will go straight to a dark red stability, which is a horrible stability. That means Poland is now suffering a revolution. As a lot of original faith. Let me draw the factions and be right back. So these are the factions that join up in this ginormous Polish independence movement, but these won't be the only nations that will be given independence. As we're going to see this purple faction which wants to rejoin up with Romania, start moving. As this country, as this faction right here, which is a pretty long faction, is the one that wants to finish off Poland. As the Polish corridor, which is the biggest, as the Polish nation, which is one of the biggest nations, will start collapsing as a historical place, which is the Benelux, will return, which is the Baltic nation, as Poland will collapse. So let's look at this peace treaty. As this is the peace treaty, as Poland collapsed greatly, as this is the greatest collapse of an empire yet in the entire history of this series, as they lost these two big provinces, this nation grew, and they lost these two provinces, and they lost this nation. As that's very big. As now Poland will need some help from other nations to grow back, as we see more nations join up in Europe. So now we're going to look at the war of the South Americas, as we're going to see a nation be knocked out of this war, which is this small nation, which it will collapse greatly as their capital will be captured and they will decide to surrender. But the right nation will do a smart move and will start invading this small nation that collapsed. As after that, we're going to see another nation collapse, which is this Uruguay, southern Brazilian nation, as this nation is a very weak nation. It's even weaker than this country. So this country will collapse pretty fast, as Brazil, seeing that they'll have to do a little bit more to finish off the southern area, they will use this front line to start an invasion of this nation, which is actually northern Argentina, as this will lead to great damage, as this Brazil is the number one strongest South American nation, as that will lead to this nation fully surrendering. I don't know why the provinces are the ones collapsing, because I think those are the provinces of this nation. Yeah. So that will be big, as the Brazilians have knocked out half of the country's part of this big war. as that will lead to all these nations, as now the Brazilians can focus on this country, as this country manages to push back with Brazilian help, as now it's just Uruguay, as if you're the only nation part of the war, as Ecuadorian troops start moving into Uruguay, as that's pretty bad for the nation, as this nation and they will use this area to start an invasion of the north, which, out of the blue, we're going to see Uruguay be funded by the ATA, which is the African Authoritarian Alliance, which that will bring Uruguay straight back, as this funding is from every single nation, as it's not a lot, but that will lead to Uruguay managing to push back this, as that's really big, as that means Uruguay managed, as with this help we're going to see this nation, which is Uruguay, fully collapse under pressure. And if Brazil falls, we're going to see that means the whole alliance have won, as we're going to see Uruguay even start a giant invasion of Brazil, as this is the first time the nation of Brazil has ever been invaded, as Brazil will collapse under the troops of Uruguay, as Uruguay will start a liberation campaign of their nations, and they will manage to fully liberate this nation. And since this nation was fully occupied, so now let's look at this giant peace treaty. As this is the peace treaty, as this nation, as South America collapses greatly, as Brazil just becomes bad, as Brazil utterly collapses, as they lose most of their land to Guyana, as that's was the plan for Guyana, as Guyana wanted South America to be ruled by socialists, as this nation gains half of Uruguay, and Guyana fully annexes this nation that was here, and also north of Uruguay and the coastline, and this nation just gets, as the southern area, and this area was taken by this nation, as now South America is practically all a giant pile of fascism, as there's only one socialist nation, which is southern Argentina, as this is practically the worst that it has ever been for South America, which used to be one of the strongest continents. But now I think it's time to change the power rankings. So the only area, so 1A is obviously the Korean Union, 1B is China, 2 Russia, 3 India, 4 Benelux, which is still 5, has completely changed, as this nation is no longer 5, as it collapsed greatly, as that means we need a new 5, and that 5th spot will be taken by Egypt, which it's great, as that means that Egypt managed to take the 5th spot, As 5 is Egypt, 6 is the Iberian Union, 7 as Brazil is definitely no longer 7, as Brazil is no longer even on the power rankings, as this nation will upgrade to number 7, as it has really rised in power, as that's number 7, as number 8 is this big nation in Australia, as this nation has been trying to make themselves better, as 8 is this nation, 9 is there 9? Yeah, 9 is Anatolia. Then the 10th strongest nation is this nation. So the power rankings haven't changed that much instead of Egypt joining the power rankings and this nation, which this nation greatly grew in power after that war. As let's change the year, as it's no longer 1937, as we have reached 1946, as that means that this war started on January 1937 and took about from January 1937 it took to right now it's January for the 1946. So yeah, the world is upgrading greatly, but I think it's time to add a new layer, as something that's a sneak peek, as something horrible, as something crazy just happened, as we are going to see that the Korean Union has finally created the first ever nuclear bomb. As this is big because the Korean Union is I don't know why it's not that it didn't do this. Oh, I deleted the layer, the year layer. So let me remove this. So as I was saying, the Korean Union has created the first ever nuclear bomb, as that means that the Korean Union is now called a superpower, as that's utterly big, as they're going to hide this from the world, but spies from China hiding in the Korean Union will find out about this and blurt it out and come up to the Council of Nations, which this layer hasn't updated. I'm going to update it now. Come up to the Council of Nations and say that the strongest nation in the Korean Union has the strongest bomb, has a bomb, and people don't know what type of bomb it is, because people have seen bombs before. They're like, what's wrong? Everybody has bombs. And China won't just say they have a bomb. They'll say they have a big bomb that can destroy the world. But now it's time to see the new members of the council, as the world will just ignore China, but China, seeing that the world doesn't believe them, will start construction on their own nuclear bomb, which is utterly big, because that means that China, as the Korean Union, is not planning on using this bomb for anything that bad. As like, they're not planning on using this bomb like Hiroshima to destroy a country or anything like that. They just created it. As this is a big leap for my series, as that means nukes exist in my world, which is utterly ginormous. And as you can see here, I'm drawing the members of the Council of Nations, as a lot of Europe ends up joining this council, since now they trust this council as it's no longer a dictatorship aligned council, because there's no dictatorships in council except for Russia and those other council members. As Romania joined, Greece joined, Poland was already part of it. The Benelux country joined. This Hungary type country would join. This Austria type country would join. This Yugoslavia country would join. Denmark would join. Italy would join. This Eastern German nation would join. Southern France would go. Southern France would join. Southern France join. The Benelux would join, and the Iberian Union would join, and the Indian Union would join. As that will be the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Greetings, that's scientist number 1 and scientist number 2. Greetings, what are we looking at here? It is a discovery by one of our submarines. What is so special about this? Our submarines have discovered many stars. The special part about this is that this is not any type of rock, it's technology. Technology? We have just cracked our way to nuclear technology. We don't care about this. But sir, this is not any type of technology. Our test shows that it's from thousands of years ago, before even the Koreans came to be. Our test and then show us after.